Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day in the markets. Tuesday, August 16th. Something broke today. Markets got a little broken. I think hedge fund got margin called. Algos flipped on. Someone got liquidated. Something happened. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. We have a Twitter you can follow us on at HappyMoneyYT, as well as the Discord server. Link for that is in the description. Spot, nothing too crazy before that big drop today. Kind of a melt up. But the shorted stocks in the market, retail specifically, XRT. Basically, the options chain on XRT is super bullish, as well as the short interest like fell off a cliff. So it seems like a lot of shorts are covering retail right now, and there's basically just a big massive short squeeze rally on everything XRT retail related, so much so that I think it kind of broke the market. When I say that, I mean probably some fund maybe blew up today, or basically got a margin call that they couldn't fulfill, and I think we're seeing actually the repercussions of it here on the SPY, just dumping at this point. But I think it started earlier than that, when BBBY, whoa, it's coming down. Yeah, I think here. Yeah, so I think we saw it earlier than that, when BBBY actually hit 20. So, of course, it's been on an astronomical rally. It's been setting up basically a gamma squeeze that lasts really until January, and today was the biggest day so far. I think it had a 60-70% at one point, but before that we saw it hit $20. So opened here, didn't take long. Again, today another crazy day on it. Everything's so overextended on it, but it's chugging along. Big rip up here, just doing good volume, and then right here it kind of hits that 20, gets rejected, and right here I noticed on GME something happened. So that was right here. That was these two candles on GME, I think 1025, 1030. Yep, there's 1030, there's 1025. So it wasn't crazy, but these were pretty large candles for where it was during the day, and there was some volume, and it just, the velocity that it moved in was a little squeezy. And so I was thinking, okay, I wanted to go long on GameStop anyways with shares this week, probably for the SLD run I'm hoping for next week and into next month really. So I was looking really for an entry, and GameStop's been holding up so strong. It's been like, well, you're not gonna get a big dip, so just any little dip. And I was planning on this week sometime, maybe Wednesday, maybe later, but it just so happened that today I saw this happening. I saw BBY hit that 20, and then this happened. I think there was a margin call there, and then basically I went long on GameStop here with options and as well as shares. I basically full portfolioed 3 different portfolios right here. After seeing that, and after already anticipating GameStop having a big run in the next 20 days or so. So yeah, about 120k worth of shares right here, and then BBY came down and kind of settled and consolidated for a bit, and so did GameStop. And then as BBY ran up into that margin zone, I believe, into the 20s, then that literally just flipped everything. All retail, basically. Pretty much all XRT just flipped on. Volume came on crazy and started ripping everything, and GameStop was no exception to that. I was watching GameStop, but we were watching a lot. We're watching, literally everything. Just this massive bear market rally short squeeze that you see during a recession and a bear market, and BBBY is one of the things that triggered it. And even in market crashes, you've often had short squeezes, and we're starting to see it kind of crack here. I think it's crazy. It is actually crazy. So here's BBBIG. They actually decided to unhalt this thing today also. This thing's been halted for weeks. unhalted today and then halt going crazy. Fubo making a crazy move. This kind of started this morning, but look at the time, 11:25. Yep, there's 11:25. Look, everything just turned on. This was 11:25 on Fubo. I mean, I haven't even been looking at all of these, but I've got them all on my watch list from previous runs. Let's see, Sears up 30%, Blue Apron, 10:45. Look at that one. Stitch Fix, My Size. I mean, everything's so squeezy. A lot of stuff I called out in the last few days just from good charts. A lot of it just ripped. Here's Express. This was one of them. ASTS. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Then all these retail ones. Here's Big Lots, Gap, Costs, Carvana, Wayfair. You know, double-digit percentages on a lot of these. So I am thinking something broke today, basically. And as far as GME, I think this is kind of just a little false start. Hopefully it holds up nice and keeps rallying now that I have a large amount. But it might not. It might kind of chill for a bit, or not. Maybe it'll keep going. Maybe now that we've maybe blew up some fund, now they're going to keep closing. I'm not sure, but BBBY coming up over into the 20s. This whole move right here, this affected the entire market through XRT. Yeah, pretty wild what's going on here. I still don't. I have a position on BBY, but nothing significant at all. I've been waiting for basically RSI to cool, and now of course now I'm on GME, because GME hasn't really had its move yet, and I mean, I've missed. Who knows if I missed most of this move or not, but at this point I've missed a big part of it, hundreds of percent on BBBY. So I'd like that daily to cool off. Might not be for a while, but I'm content with that basically. If it comes back down to this 13 range, definitely fills that gap back into the single digits, which probably won't happen, but not sure. But yeah, on the upside, I think BBY could. I think Ryan Cohen's calls in the 80s for January. I think those could be in the money by January, especially for squeezing, like we just kind of saw a little glimpse of today. But I think with that, if BBY is at 80, I think GameStop could be $400 or $500. I think this will be the bigger mover in the end for sure. I think this move on BBBY I think will be silly once GameStop actually squeezes. But that being said, this is a great way to build capital, and this happened sooner and this happened fast. So yeah, it's crazy. This is very January vibe. So coming back here, pulling back with the IV so high, it's gnarly getting into options with 600% IV, 400%. So that's why I haven't been playing the options either on it. You could do spreads, but with me with the RSI so hot, which isn't always good. I know sometimes it limits me because they can run hot into the RSI clearly and doesn't really care. But yeah, so pretty big pullback here on it. But even if it closes green today, that's still good for how much it's come up. It's still up 16%, and probably cool down here. Next couple days is SLD. The beginning of it I think starts tomorrow. So I think we're starting to kind of see a front run of that a little bit. Fed minutes is tomorrow in the afternoon. That could bring out some hawkish tone. So SPY, okay, so then everything was ripping and basically short squeezing the whole retail, and everything that's overly shorted was getting squeezed. And then SPY, for whatever reason, I'm not sure what happened here. Maybe part of the margin call. 230 just dumped, just shut off. And that's where we saw everything then just tied into it. All these runners just got shut down with it. So they all got linked up. Not sure exactly the mechanics of that, but it was market wide. Here's Fubo's move on it. So the wizard behind the curtain is getting exposed, I think. Now look, the volume's kind of shut off and dying out. I don't think it's over though. I don't. Revs up today. This one kind of moved on its own, but once the market basically turned off, it affected pretty much everything. Let me show you guys plays. So yeah, that 120K, we put, let's see, 392 shares in here, which was, I don't know what the value, but that's what I picked up on there. And then I'll show you the Bobby play too, or BBBY. I'm rolling it, so I'm able to capture more of these gains, and it's kind of a cool way to do it. It's poor man's covered call, more or less, so it's calendar spreads on the options. And then yeah, so then on this account I picked up 850 shares, so this was 50 grand on that one. And then on Fidelity, on the margin, I'm actually not getting as much margin on Fidelity. I think they changed their margin requirements, those buggers. So I was only able to get like 16 grand on margin, I think. But yeah, so here's another 82 grand. Yeah, $77,000 cost basis on those GME shares. And yeah, 1950 on there. And then of course we have the ones that we're holding, marinating for long term on E-Trade here. And yeah, so haven't done anything with these. So what's crazy is my timing this morning was it was a bit planned, but it was also a bit lucky, of course, to basically pick everything up right here, right in 39. My plan was to pick it up this week on somewhat of a low. It was holding up really well. BBBY showed me that little glimpse right here when it hit 20 that something was, the margin calls were getting triggered, and so I was like, all right, well, I don't think I'm gonna get any more of a dip, so that's why I went long here, and was fortunate enough. The calls I got though, they weren't weeklies. Some of you guys on Discord were getting weeklies, which is awesome. But no, I got ones for September 2nd. So because I think that'll cover everything that I want it to. That'll cover OPEX is this Friday, or MOPEX, and then T+2, and then the rebalancing. Actually, what the in September we have, I think, ETF rebalancing, or no, there's actually quarterly options in September. So we'll see. I mean, this might be the beginning of actually the squeeze, really. Yeah, at least the peak of it. I think the beginning probably started 2 years ago back here, once it crossed like 16, 17 bucks. But I think the peak of it, basically where we're going to find the top, I think we might be on that trajectory. I don't think we're going to see testing this double digits anymore. This bull flag, MACD bullish, breaking out of it basically this week. This is basically the most bullish GME's been ever since back here, July. So yeah, whether it's a slow grind, probably not. Probably big quick ups with some downs, and then some slow gradual climbs. If you look back like pre-January, I think we'll see something similar to kind of like this. I mean, at times grinding up, consolidating, grinding up. GME's acting much more like this now that it's split, much more natural, ripping up, consolidating, ripping up, consolidating. But yeah, it's volatile. I mean, it's big downs also. So I think we'll see a lot of this, and then at times I think we'll see some crazy moves and then big moves down. You know, basically this move exaggerated. So yeah, this is something was broken today. Hopefully you guys aren't YOLOing too much on BBY calls. Take profits. I almost took some profits on my GameStop calls. I did once we started coming down. It was a little late. I was planning on just holding them, but this was a pretty big knife. No problem though. This might be a little bit of a false start before a rally next week, but we'll see. It could keep coming this week. We've seen GME actually rally pretty well at the beginning of SLD. Was it back here? Let's see, 18. No, it wasn't there. I think maybe back in March here, or May. Yeah, maybe this one. So it doesn't necessarily have to wait until the second week, or the basically week after MOPEX. It can happen sooner. But as far as BBY, I've got basically all my capital in GameStop at this point. So I think BBY does have a potential maybe to move higher sooner than GameStop. But I think my capital is much safer basically in GameStop in case I get stuck with it, I like the fundamentals and long-term play more than I like BBBY. I think this could have a big turnaround and could make a big move, or just trusting Ryan Cohen's choice. I think it could be good, but yeah, I think it fundamentally have more security in GameStop. And BBBY's done its big move. I got calls down here and it was like $6, $7, $8. Oh, let me show you guys the plays real quick. So yeah, basically all the plays have been shouting out finally started moving today. So Geo, the one that Burry got into, I got out of that today. Pretty good profits. I got SPY puts at open or close yesterday and closed them today. Probably do it again for tonight. Veru's ripping. This one just broke out. It's super illiquid, and option chain is just, yeah, not much liquidity, and it is oversold, so, or overbought. So I closed that one out. Pretty good gains. Here's GME, the calls I bought. So yeah, you can see my timestamp on here. Let's see, 1024. Yep, there they are. So and then all the shares, that's when I bought those shares too, on all the different accounts. And then BBY. So here's, I'm rolling calls. So I have poor man covered calls on BBY. So these $6 calls for January, these are the ones I bought. I don't even, does it tell me when I bought them? I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. I bought these when it was cheap though. Yeah, for $500. So these are worth, oh, they're down quite a bit now. They're worth $1,200 now. So it was 1,000% at one point today, but I think it'll be back up at 1,000%. And then I basically sold $15 calls for this Friday on it, and then I rolled them up to next week 17.5 calls because we kept rallying for credit. So now basically there's a calendar spread, and my max gain on it's 4,500 if I let it expire in the money, if it is in the money. But see, this short call, I'm already making money back on it. It's $1,500 credit I received on that. So yeah, that's how that one's kind of working. And then Overstock, I closed that one this morning a little early. I was just like waiting for everything to move, and I was trying to build up a little cash balance. But then this, of course, ended up running with a lot of the hype in retail. Nothing crazy. It was 11%, but I missed out a big part of that. Little gain on that Overstock call debit spread. Here's the calls I sold on GameStop. Should have sold them sooner, but that's okay. Bought into 55 calls for September 2nd, and then I'll probably get more 45 calls. Actually, I did. I already scaled back in. Yeah, I'm bullish on it. They might have some theta decay the next week, but I want exposure. Sold my BPT puts, and there's the call that I bought back in. So at this point, I guess when I'm trading options, I trade a lot smaller. Like long calls and stuff, the amount of capital I allocate is very small. So I've got $5,000 in these 45 calls for September 2nd. That gives me 20 contracts, and I've got 455 calls. But yeah, all the other ones are up, and we could get a knife on the whole market for the next 2 days, just because of the Fed minutes and then SLD. So I'm going to be pretty quick on the trigger to close out of some of these, like these express ones I might close. Neg, I mean, these charts look really nice though. BRCC, R, these are all up a lot, and the charts look like they're going to go big. Neo even looks good. SoFi maybe. Rocket, actually closed those. So yeah, I'm hesitant to hold a lot of stuff just because we could be nearing a top here. We'll see how it all responds to GME. This might be a huge Volkswagen short squeeze, like crazy. Market crashing, GME squeezing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's here yet. I feel like we'll be at a much higher price point on everything, but maybe not. Maybe we're high enough to where margins are so thin, like what we saw today, where things are just starting to break down, basically. I mean, we saw it. Stuff broke down today. This is broken. You know, XRT, SPY, all this breaking, and then stocks running up 500-600%. BBY with that much momentum in just a few days, like this is breaking. And then when it basically triggered the whole market, when it hit 20, and then this whole move right here, everything. I mean, this was wild. This move on BBY is basically a copy of all retail stocks from that time frame, from 11 a.m. to like 11:30, 12. Freaking Fubo. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on Discord. Peace out.